Just wanted to commend the guys for just playing hard the whole time. The finish of it, to get a ball out at the end, to have put a nice drive together, find some completions, and find a touchdown at the end. Just love that part of it. Love that the guys just kind of kept stayed together, finished the right way, and then of course just across the board we just got things to clean up. Saw some improvement from a defensive standpoint in the run game. And then still gave up a couple of explosive plays, early on in that second quarter that put the score to where it was. And then offensively, just the pre-snap operation, all those things we got to go right to, and just continue to just improve those processes with the whole group doing that. And then again, just taking care of the ball, something that we harp on, and gave them 2 interceptions and some failed fourth downs for some more opportunities for the Broncos. So just those are just kind of some of the general thoughts.
Great. With that, we can go into questions, and the floor is open. Someone wants to start us off.
Dave, hey, is is there a guy who has stepped up in the leadership void with, you know, Derek and Shaq and Austin and Adam going down in the first month or the first 6 weeks of the season?
It's really been collectively, just some of the guys, the veteran players that have been around. It's great to have Josie back in there. He had a fantastic game, but just the communication stuff and all that, it was great to have him back out there. Sean battling through things, being out there and being available. JC continued to play hard. And offensively, there's a bunch of guys. Chuba, Damian Lewis, guys that even Thielen, as he's coming back to us, guys that have been really supportive and just kind of championing, just the mentality of just continuing to improve our football and try to just get 1 week better at a time.
And then Dave, we've talked about some operation issues that you guys have had wanting to get at the play call quicker. Do you plan on making any adjustments from I guess an operation standpoint now that you've seen these first 7 or so games and how you've been able to flow within them?
Yeah, I think it just comes back to continuing to push the urgency in practice to make sure that we're up at the line of scrimmage. We have our play clock going the whole time. So just, making sure that we're being really strict about that and getting our protections, getting the alignment, coming out of the huddle, being ready, and of course, this young group of receivers that we have just continuing to push the urgency of getting lined up. They took a step in improvement in that regard, but with Bryce being in there, that was something that we got to continue to just address and really just focus in on this week.
All right, let's go to Joe Person, followed by David Newton.
Dave, any clarity yet on Andy's thumb and the starting quarterback for this week?
It's going to be a couple of days. These are really important days. The next few, really getting all the way out there to Wednesday to play some live snaps and to do that. So I'll give you guys more information about that. But we really have to look at, Andy, where he's at and in the next couple of days to make a sound decision.
And I know in the past you have referred us to both Dan and Brant on any kind of trade deadline questions, but given that one, we don't have access to them, I do want to ask you again, just has anything changed where you're concerned in terms of Bryce and making him potentially available for other teams?
Yeah, again, all those things are stuff that Dan and Brant are talking through. For me, like my focus is to just address some of the issues that we're talking about from a football standpoint, and then that's really where I have to just keep my energy and focus right now.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask you if Andy is healed and ready to go, you look at him as the guy that you'll go back to because, does he still feel like he's the guy that gives you the best chance to win?
Again, yeah, that's what these next couple of days are about. To see where he's at and to evaluate that based on the information we have about Bryce being back out there on the field, and then what Andy would give us in what capacity. So we really got to just look at that and feel really confident about it.
And what when you went back and looked at the film, what stood out from Bryce yesterday that maybe you missed during the game?
Yeah, just his ability to just get back out there and just continue to compete. He found some great completions throughout the game. I thought that, there was some, the chemistry, finding Xavier, finding Jalen a couple of times, finding Demo. So there were some things that I was really encouraged by. And again, I think, he took steps in that regard. And I think that, the whole process, the pre-snap operation is the focus and the intent for us, improvement wise.
And we're at the pre-snap operation, because I think you called a timeout really early in the second half.
Yeah.
A few others. Oh, where were some of those breakdowns? Was that on Bryce? That was on you? Is that on getting? Where were those breakdowns?
Yeah, the timeout we took was a substitution confusion. So the staff, we're taking that one just in terms of the guys that we wanted to have out there. And then there were a couple other ones where I got the call in, not in a great amount of time, but it was still within a reasonable amount of time. And then at that point, it's Bryce just taking it, fluidly calling the formation, getting out there, getting the motions, the protections, all the things that come with just playing the position, So those are the things that we're going to really, hone in on this week.
Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go to Alex, followed by Jeff Hawkins.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking the time. Just a general one for me. I understand this isn't a position that you've been in before when it comes to this point in the year and the record. How, as a head coach, how do you prevent losing to feel like the norm at this point in the season?
Yeah, again, Alex, I just have to go back to the basics. I just have to go to the fundamentals of football. The places where we can improve from a technique standpoint, the places where we can improve from an operational standpoint, the play call selections for our guys, putting our players in the best position to have success and learning these groups as it changes, as it evolves. Those are the things that my energy goes to. And hopefully for the full group, we can all focus on something tangible to work on, because the work's coming. And here comes Wednesday, and we'll have a game plan. We got to get back out to practice and execute a great day. And so that's my focus, is to just keep the whole group concentrated on improving our football. And there is progress. And there is progress in different areas, but then other areas start to suffer as well. So it's like, trying to focus the energy where you can't fix everything at once, but can we focus in on these couple of areas to show that improvement and to keep the guys just motivated to work on those things.
Just a quick follow-up. In what specific areas have you seen this progress?
Yeah, progress in the run game. I thought our defense played a way better day in terms of, playing against the run. We gave them some favorable third downs, medium and short third downs that they converted at a high rate. We did not. So we put ourselves in a little bit of a challenge defensively. Offensively, we had some longer ones, but even on the shorter ones, we didn't convert at the rate that we need to continue to play football. So the third down area still is an area of attention and concern for us to keep improving on. But offensively, again, there's guys showing up, making plays for us. So that's something that we like to see. Those are some of the areas that have improved, but it's the consistency part of it, and it's the first drive, the continuity and the rhythm and flow of what that looked like, and then trying to build on top of that by putting together more drives throughout the game.
All right. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Alex.
Hey, greetings, Coach. Jeff Hawkins from the Charlotte Post. Pardon me if this question was asked earlier. I missed the first couple minutes picking up my son from high school. But can you speak to Coker, his big third down catch, and as someone who's taken advantage of the situation? Thank you. Yep.
Again, just taking advantage of his opportunities and his targets. He's shown an ability to separate. He's shown an ability to catch it when a defender's on him. And again, he's right in that whole group of guys trying to improve the details and the execution of the things we're asking our guys to do. So he's right in that group as a whole in terms of what we need to improve. But again, a guy that just keeps showing us, he can make plays.
We got time for a few quick ones. Let's go to Vashti Hurt, followed by Mike K.
Hi, Dave. You mentioned
Hey, Vash.
technique. I remember at the combine, you spoke about quarterback timing and getting the ball out in 2.7 seconds and how you would be honing in on that. Is that something that you're still working on with Bryce? And where are you in that development piece specifically?
Yeah, it's a great question. I thought he played fast. I thought he was very decisive. He had some scrambles. He threw the ball away in some situations, which was the right thing to do. He found a little bit of extra time in the pocket to get some of those late completions, dealt with a pretty good rush group, some things they threw at him. So, that was encouraging, that part of it, to see him play with that type of speed and urgency that showed up on game day was great. And so I was excited about that. And now, again, like I said before, just focusing on the pre-snap operation, get up there, be decisive, try to keep the pressure on the defense is where we're heading this week.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, Dave. I know you don't think this way, but not everybody thinks the same way that you do. You obviously know that as somebody who coaches. But do you get concerned that the messaging that you have can wear thin when you're focused on the positive, but you're experiencing a lot of negative?
I wouldn't say it's focusing on the positive. We deal with the truth. We talk to our guys about the things we need to improve. We show the guys the areas that are improving based on the emphasis and the things that we've been doing. So I try to stay there. I try to just show them, what it is. These are the critical variables. Here's where we fell short. Here's where we achieved. And try to continue to have that information. But, Mike, to answer your question, regardless of what situation our team was in, the focus is always going to come back to the basics and execution and the things that we can control. What are the things that are within our power to do our job correctly, to execute? And that's always going to work. That's always going to be the message for us. And for me, I feel good about being able to come up here and look at those things that need improvement, look at those things that need attention, to give the guys something tangible to work on throughout the week, because I think that's the goal. If you can paint a clear picture of the things that need attention and need focus, then they have something to be focused on and work through versus thinking about the hypotheticals and the challenges that we know are real, and the challenges of trying to find ways to win games, those are all real. But what can we do about it? Today, all we can do is focus on the fundamentals and the basics and attack those with all of our energy.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, let's finish up with Darren Gant.
Dave, you mentioned improvements in the run game. What were some specific things that you saw out of like Ashawn Robinson and Josie Jewell that kind of led to that?
You called two specific guys out, but really it was the whole group, just playing team defense, team tackling, fitting the runs and showing up. And they just took a step in it in terms of just being where you're supposed to be, doing your part of it so that everything fits off of each other. That was the improvement that I was talking about.
And also really quickly, how'd Damani Richardson look first start?
He looked pretty good. He showed up in the run game, made some physical plays. He had a nice play down the field on a deep post route that they try to throw, where he was in great position and really ran the route for the receiver. Still a lot of things for him to clean up his first time out there, when you get out there, just the communication that happens so quickly, but I was really proud of Damani, waiting for his opportunity and then making the most of it this week.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.